Greetings, welcome back to Black Bear News, where we are discussing climate change, abrupt climate change, and things adjacent. And I wanted to get into this article. Someone sent me this is, and a few people were talking about this, having to do with global dimming. And this is, pretty important stuff because global dimming seems to be a big factor in our demise, right? If we shut off the fossil fuel whole situation. If we stop fossil fuel emissions, we run the risk of raising temperatures even more. But if we keep pumping fossil fuels into the atmosphere, then we raise emissions. We raise temperatures even more. So it's a catch-22, if you will. This is from August 2nd. Cutting pollution won't cause global warming spike, study finds. Let's get into this a little more. I didn't read this whole article, but it's not very long. Fears that efforts to reduce air pollution could dramatically speed up the process of global warming have been allayed. The publication of a landmark new study. Scientists have long worried that air pollution, while having a devastating impact on human health, may paradoxically have been acting as a brake on the heating of the atmosphere. Pollution particles help clouds to form with more water droplets, meaning they reflect more of the sun's energy back into space. Until now, the extent to which pollution inadvertently helps to cool the planet has not been clear. If the cooling is strong, it would mean that efforts to clean up the air could actually accelerate global warming, making efforts to tackle climate change even more difficult. The old global dimming or aerosol masking effect conundrum. However, new research carried out at the University of Reading has shown pollution affects different clouds in different ways. While some clouds get thicker, others become thinner. Oh, this goes back to the cloud study, or to links to the cloud thinning out clouds, meaning pollution is unlikely to offset more than half of greenhouse gas warming. I guess that's good news. Half. What was the possible rise in temperature was something like between 1 and 1.5 or 6 degrees, or something like that, from global dimming. Am I right on that? Maybe I'm wrong. Was it that much? I think it was like at least 1 degree, at least. So half would be half a degree, if that's what it was. Veltol, lead author of the study. It's another scientist. I've never heard his name. Now at the University of Tartu in Estonia, said until now it was assumed that thicker clouds form when water droplets condense around the particles in the polluted air, delaying rainfall and allowing clouds to reflect more sunlight back into space. To test this, we studied satellite data from clouds near sources of pollution. In fact, there was little change in average water content across all the polluted clouds we found, showing that pollution makes a little difference overall to many types of clouds. Some clouds got thicker. This reduces a big area of uncertainty for future forecasts of the climate. Our study provides more evidence that cutting emissions of greenhouse gases and air pollution is a win-win situation for the health of people's lungs. Well, so I still have questions about, because it seems to me that the global dimming effect wasn't just about clouds and water droplets, that it was about actual aerosols in the air, particles in the air doing the masking. Right? It was, and this, not all, but a lot of this came, some of this evidence came from 9/11 when all the planes were grounded, and there was a difference in the temperature. Somebody studied the difference in the temperature when the planes were all grounded, and it went up pretty markedly. So I don't know if this has anything to do with that. So is it just all clouds? This is talking about clouds and water droplets. Scientists located hundreds of polluted clouds around the world produced by tiny pollution particles from sources such as volcanoes, cities, ships, factories, and wildfires. They analyzed whether changes to clouds simulated by climate models are accurate in order to predict future climate change. Huh. So this is interesting. I still don't know if this includes the actual aerosol masking effect. I'm not sure. I think this is what they're talking about, but it doesn't seem to actually. I don't know. This could be good news. It seems to be good news. Also, going back to the Walter Jane video that I talked about a long time ago, I'm probably going to trot that out again and talk about it a little more because I think it's interesting. And some other people have been talking about the effect of regreening, massive regreening, how many benefits that could have, but also, this would, if we could massively regreen while we're cutting the emissions, regreen parts of the earth, reforest, regreen cities, de-urbanize urban areas, and that this would help keep, this would offset the temperatures, right? Because it's going to lower the temperatures overall. Any place that's regreened or reforested or, going in the other direction of, taking out wildlife. Again, it's difficult to grow plants and trees now because we've got hotter temperatures and all kinds of problems going on with the trees that are alive and the plants that are alive right now. But still, very interesting idea from Walter Jane. I'll get back to that on another video. Moving on to this is an interesting story from Britain. Britons have spent $4 billion stockpiling goods in case of a no-deal breakfast. It's a no-deal breakfast. Brexit. I must be hungry. I don't know. Research suggests 1 in 5 people have a food, drinks, and medicine hoard worth 380 pounds. Not weight, Americans. Pounds as in money. Britons have spent £4 billion stockpiling goods in preparation for a possible no-deal Brexit. New research suggests 1 in 5 people are already hoarding food, drinks, and medicine. If the UK leaves, so the Brexit deadline, I guess, is October 31st. Pretty soon. If the UK leaves with a no deal, businesses predict there will be short-term supply problems, which the government says it is mitigating. Similar research in the weeks leading up to the original deadline for the UK to leave the EU found that about 17% of the population had spent money building up supplies, with a total stockpile spend calculated at £4.6 billion ahead of the 31 March deadline. 31 March? What? I'm confused now. Oh, the original deadline. Yes. Brexit-related stockpiling is also hitting cash flow, according to the report, with companies taking out credit to cover the cost of insurance and other fixed costs. The level of stockpiling by British businesses and households is well documented, but there has been little focus on the impact this has had on cash flow, which has been quite negative. You guys stockpiling stuff, you're hurting the economy. Stop it. Is that what they were trying to say? I don't know. Last week, the boss of Pets at Home revealed the business is hoarding pet food, and Domino's Pizza said it had started stockpiling toppings. Super rich are also importing more luxury cars ahead of the Brexit deadline in order to avoid tariffs. All right, great, super rich. Sorry for the hassles, guys. Oh my God, 3,800 luxury cars were imported in the past year. I hope they all sink to the bottom of the sea on the way over here. Oops. No, I don't hope that, because that would be destructive to the sea. I wish people just knew better. Cars. Must have things. Must buy more things. Must have all the things that we want. We have the money, so must have the things that we want. Meh. Lastly, still staying with this Epstein thing. So interesting story that Despite the apparent suicide, like there are thousands and thousands of other documents linked to his sex trafficking case and so many threads of information. It could implicate co-conspirators. So this is an interesting story. I'm not really going to talk too long about this, but what I heard, and I don't know if this is totally correct. What I heard was, so when he was alive, he and his legal team were the only people that were able legally to block evidence presented in his case. Now that he is not around anymore, apparently there's no legal way to have this evidence blocked from seeing the light of day and being, I guess, used in other cases. If this is true, I really, really hope this is true. I really hope that some of this evidence, there are quite a few documents, and he took meticulous records. I'm hoping that this is allowed to be, some kind of, I don't know how they, that this would be allowed to be presented as evidence and possibly implicating people that were involved in his shenanigans, which is a nice way of saying filthy, shitty, disgusting things. That's all I have for you today in this video. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so at the links below. Until